And then I brought this up, I think 2 weeks ago. Somebody got like, I got into an argument on Twitter because somebody said something about, oh man, I think Rhea Ripley's so good. Just have her beat Adam Cole for the NXT title and make her a big star. And I said, okay, that statement alone, besides the fact that I don't want to see men and women fight,
Yes.
The statement alone is sexist because you're basically saying to be a big star, she has to beat the man for the man's belt.
And I think we talked about this before, how I feel about this. I feel like when you have women going after the men's titles, it diminishes the women's title. Like,
yeah, it makes it feel less than.
Yes, and say what you want to about Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has made that title the most important title in WWE. And she didn't do it. She did not one time do it by sitting there saying, I want the Universal title or whatnot. She kind of just did it by making the women's title feel important. And I think that's very important to do that and exemplify that in terms of like, hey, instead of me going after the men's title and diminishing the women's title, let me make the women's title the number one thing so people come to see the women's matches. And I think Becky Lynch has done a great job of just that.
Yeah, because you see, like, Charlotte Flair is a huge star, and her, Bayley, and I think it was it her, Bayley, and Charlotte at WrestleMania, or I'm not sure, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha at WrestleMania, was it those three?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. They tore the freaking house down, and that was the match that I remember from that Mania the most. Whatever the main event was, I'd have to go back and look at the card because I know it was memorable. I just can't remember like off the top of my head.
There are so many moments like that. Look at the Hell in a Cell between Charlotte and Sasha Banks. People remember that match. That was a great match, and I think when you put the focus on women's wrestling and make it to the high level, make it the top-notch number one priority, you can get great matches and great responses like that. I feel like as great as Tessa Blanchard is, I feel like I'm not mad at Impact for wanting to give her the belt or having her beat men because I feel like they're at a point where they have to kind of make themselves different from everybody else. So why not have Tessa Blanchard become their world champion? So I kind of understand that aspect of it, but I don't think it's something that should be done by everybody. Like, I don't want to see Becky Lynch, as good as she is, beat Brock Lesnar for the title.
I was wrong, by the way. It was Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. And it was WrestleMania 32. Yeah, that was the most memorable thing on the card because you had... And that was the only thing that meant anything. So you had Chris Jericho defeat AJ Styles for whatever reason. Zack Ryder won a ladder match for the IC title, and then he instantly dropped it the next night.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar destroyed Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred match, and they built months building up Dean Ambrose, getting all these weapons and talking, with these hardcore legends for absolutely nothing. The Undertaker defeated Shane in a Hell in a Cell match where if Shane won, he got control of Raw, and Undertaker would no longer compete at WrestleMania. Well, Shane lost and still got control of Raw. And then the main event was freaking Roman Reigns versus Triple H for the WWE title, and I mean the match was fine, but it wasn't. I don't know. I was just like, okay, Roman won. Good night. I just.
Yeah.
And then we had the League of Nations defeating the New Day in a 10-minute match that nobody gave a damn about. So I don't know. WrestleMania 32 had many flaws, but the women's match was the best damn thing on that card. And I brought this up to somebody too. I said, Becky Lynch is probably the biggest star in WWE, and she did that by beating only women and holding only the women's title.
And she made it seem important. She made the women's title seem more important than the men's title, even to the point where people were saying that Seth was the missus in the relationship. Like, they were putting down Seth. People look more at Becky Lynch as the true champion, WWE champion, than they did Seth Rollins at that time. When Seth was the people at the time with the People's Champion. People wanted Seth Rollins to be the champion. It didn't matter because people loved Becky Lynch that much.
Yeah, there for a minute. Seth, I will say this. I guarantee more people bought tickets to see what Becky Lynch was going to do rather than to see what Seth Rollins was going to do week in and week out.
Yeah.
So
the first episode of SmackDown just showed that. The first episode of SmackDown on Fox was Becky Lynch and The Rock.
Yep.
That says a lot right there alone.
She's the man. And no, not that terrible movie with Amanda Bynes. I'm not getting into that. Anyway,